about the NFL.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Did you have an agent at that point?
That's who started calling.
Oh. So after that game, everything changed.
Everything changed.
So that's when the NFL came to your mind.
Yeah.
And did you want to go to the NFL?
I didn't know nothing about it, really.
You were not a fan of it?
Right.
Oh, okay.
I didn't even, think about it, but what happened was the agents, people started calling. The agent called me and they were like, and I started, talking to my mom, my godfather, pastor at our church about, taking that next step. And so my pastor told me, like, what you go to school for? Like, what are you in school for? Like, what do you go to school? You go to school, get a degree, get a job to make money. I was like, you know what, you're right. So then he also said, but you can go to school, go to the NFL, get money, and always come back and get your degree. So like, you making sense. So I went through the rest of my school year, had a great year, and then there was a decision to make. Coach Holtz leaving, Steve Spurrier coming in. He gonna throw it.
Gonna throw it.
But I thought about, you know what? I think I'm gonna go ahead and just take that step and leave. I sat down with Coach Spurrier. We had a conversation. He told me straight up. He said, "Do you want to be a first round pick or do you want to be the first overall pick?" So I was like, well, you know what?
That's what he said to you?
Yes. That's the conversation we had. So I was like, I left and I didn't come back.
So what was the deciding factor for you?
Just being able to, just for one, the opportunity.
Okay.
And when I was coming out, like, my grade wasn't a first round grade. But I said, if I come out, I'm going to work my behind off. Like I told you, when I see something,
okay,
I'm going to go get it.
You ain't got it.
I went and got it. Yeah. So the thing was, I was like, I want to be one of the top receivers taken off the board. I want to be one of the top receivers drafted. So I went down to Miami, got focused for 3 months, went to the combine and tore it up.
Did your thing.
Did my thing, yeah.
That's amazing, bro.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And that is when you decided, when you started getting the phone calls, when you decided, I'm going to play in the NFL.
I'm playing NFL.
That is crazy.
It took me that long to realize it.
But it's crazy because I'm sure as kids who are thinking about it now, middle school.
Right.
And that's what they want their job to be. And here you are.
Now, I tell you, my path is a path of blessings, man. Like, they've been laid, like it was laid out. God had this plan for me, like, no doubt.
That is amazing, man.
We had this for me because there's no way you can take a kid from Petticoat Junction. Listen now. Let me run this down for you.
Okay.
Grew up in poverty, 11 brothers and sisters, burned twice. People don't know, burned twice. Had to overcome so much adversity, lose a brother at an early age.
That's true.
So a lot of people don't realize, make it through that, anything could have went wrong in that time.
Anything.
To deter me from getting to this point. And people don't realize, like, people should embrace what they go through. Like, they should embrace that. Reason why I say that, because to embrace what you're going through, it's a reason for you going through that. And I know my reason for going through what I've been through is to be able to reach out and touch and help other people. That's going to go through some of the same stuff that I've been through.
That's cool. And that's one of the reasons we're doing this.
Right.
And starting this, man. Because I think that's so important, man. It's so clutch. Because there's a lot of people, especially in youth sports, that they haven't done half of what you've done.
Right.
But they are passionate and they do care.
They do care.
And I think the combination of those people who care with your story, man, that's amazing.
Yeah.
All right. So you killed the combine.
Kill a combine.
All right. Do you know where you're going? Do you have an idea where you're going?
I don't, but I knew once I ran what I ran and worked out where I was going to be a top 15 pick. I knew that.
You knew that off top.
Depending on what the teams needed and how they needed. So,
how exciting was that time period? That knowing that you were about to be drafted, because I mean the work had been done.
Work had been done.
The high school's over, college was over. You know, it's been done. Now you're just kind of waiting. Was that exciting or was it almost overwhelming?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
Exciting, yes, because to be able to experience some of the stuff that I got to experience with my family. Got invited to the draft, decided to stay home.
That's cool.
And be with my people.
Did you have media with you?
I don't know.
I'm sure they came down there and recorded you.
I'm sure they did, but I didn't, like, They did because I see the pictures and stuff in the paper. My bad.
Okay.
Because you can see the picture of me like when I first found out I got drafted.
But that wasn't on your mind.
Not at all. Like it's crazy that because I didn't keep like it wasn't. There was nothing to me. Like the media was
you just want to be with your family.
That's it.
That's cool.
That's it. And my people are close with me. Yeah.
And that's who everybody's around that time.
Right.
All together.
Yeah.
So you get drafted.
Nope. Go back a little bit more.
All right.
So what happened with drafted, right?
Yeah.
This is a good story.
Okay.
I get a phone call. His first pick, I think the first pick was Alex Smith. Second pick was who? I think it was Ronnie Brown or Cadillac Williams, like some of those guys that was coming out. And I think Braylon Edwards. So it's coming around like 5 or 6. I think Antrell Rowe and somebody else. So 7 coming up. And we know Minnesota had just lost Randy Moss.
Mm-hmm.
So it was out of me and Mike Williams, the dude from USC, Southern Cal at the time, the big Mike Williams. So I got a call about the end of the 6th pick, the Minnesota area code. They called me, so I stepped out the room. And he like, we're going to draft you here. Like, you our guy. So I sucked it up. I put the phone down, sat down. Like, I ain't going to believe this until I see it on the TV. Pick 5, 6, 7th pick come up. The commissioner comes up and said, with the 7th pick of the 2005 draft, the Minnesota Vikings select Troy Williams. It just whirlwind, bro. Tears started flowing. Because I'm going to tell you what happens, right? In that moment, like you automatically go back. Go back to the Blue House. Go back to, you losing a brother. You being burned twice. And you realize the hand that you was dealt was the right hand, bro.
Mm.
No matter how bad it looked when it first started,
Yeah.
it was the right hand.
Mm.
It was the right hand.
At that moment.
At that moment. You realize you go right back, bro. And all of it hit me at one time. And you can see in the video and in the pictures that, dang, like, I cry ugly. Oh, that ugly cry came out just because of all the stuff that that I've been through.
Yeah.
And that was that.
That's beautiful, man.
That was good, bro.
You have your whole family there.
Mm-hmm.
And how long were you able to take that moment in?
Not long. Not long. Well, I stayed for a good bit of the draft because we had another one of my friends that was getting drafted also at the time.
Oh, okay.
Same high school, went to Carolina together.
Okay.
And all that. So I stayed around and waited for him to get drafted.
And at that moment, you're just getting drafted to the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you're not thinking about anything past the NFL.
Yeah.
But are you committed to the game at that point? Are you like...
You know what? As I go back and look at it, I knew it was going to be a lot because of where I got drafted.
Oh, yeah.
And who I was coming in to replace.
Yeah.
So at that moment, if anybody know what like a sundial is, what's the thing with the sand in it?
I know what you're talking about, but I don't know. I'm not sure.
Whatever that is, y'all. So the time was ticking. It was eating at me. It was like a cancer that just started at that moment.
At that moment.
That moment.
So it was, I'm drafted. Then immediately after that is,
bam.
Nobody thinks about that.
Nobody.
And did that kind of hurt you? Like, was it hurting?
Not hurting. It's almost, I got to the point to where I wanted to rise to the occasion, but I just couldn't get there.
You talking about before you actually stepped out there?
Before I stepped out there.
Did anything ever creep in your mind where you like, man, I don't even want to do this?
I didn't. Nothing. That point, like I said, I was willing, almost there to rise to the occasion, but I just couldn't get to the point where, I want to do this.
And what do you think caused that? Or why?
Overwhelming. Just everything happening. So, like I told you, everything happened quick.
True. Okay.
Like I can go back to just playing my junior year in high school. Now I'm being a top 10 pick.
That's crazy.
So, like to even think of that moment, I knew it. Like looking back, I was like, that's when the cancer hit. Like that's when the cancer of me not liking football hit.
That's when it started.
That's when it started.
That's similar to what Johnny Football was saying on his, right there.
Mm-hmm.
So, did it become a job?
It became a job.
You didn't like
a job
that?
quick.
Oh, and you didn't like that?
Not really not liking it. The point was, like, my first year, like, it was a learning experience. I came in with some some good guys, a Carolina alumni, Marcus Robinson, Travis Taylor, Nate Burleson. I came in with some good guys, but, you know, I don't think it was the right guys for me.
Okay.
Because
how old are you?
I'm 40.
No, I mean, you drafted 21?
22.
22.
Mm-hmm.
So you still a
pup.
yeah, kid out there.
So I don't think it was the right draft. I don't think it was the right group of guys for me. And the reason why I say that, because I think I needed somebody to help me, like to mold me, to coach me. I wasn't ready. Like I can tell you that right now, I wasn't ready for that.
And when you say ready, you're not talking about just on the field. You mean just the
whole thing,
the experience.
The whole experience. I wasn't ready for it. Mentally, not there. So
moving to Minnesota,
not ready.
None of that.
None of that. But you drafted now.
It's too late.
What you gonna do?
Yeah.
Tell me you don't want it?
And you didn't feel that until you were drafted.
Till I was drafted.
Oh,
like, it's crazy,
tough.
right?
Yeah, that's tough.
Something you work for.
Yeah.
And it's not what you expect.
Mm.
What do you do? Like it's a question. It's a rhetorical question, but
yeah.
What do you do?
How do you even express yourself?
Right. So my thing was it got heavy. The league was heavy on me. Like it messed with my mental. It messed with my physical. It messed with everything.
Were you depressed?
No doubt.
Oh wow.
No doubt.
Your first year, or
going into my second year for sure.
It became worse.
It became worse, no doubt. Like sickening depression. Like laying in the bed, like drinking myself into a coma depression.
Is that because of expectations?
Expectations.
I mean, you coming in after arguably one of the best
guys in the game,
and
right.
They had these expectations that are like probably, probably in it, crazy.
It is, yeah.
And they put those expectations on the kid.
A kid, right? And see, people don't realize that. And I could say this again. What did I expect though? Like, what? I put myself in that position, so I had to make do with my hand. Like I said, you get dealt a hand, and it's how you play it.
Yeah.
So with me getting to that situation, like you talk about, and I hear people talk about the mental illness, and that really hit it for me. Like everything, like not even just the expectations put me in a depression. It's just everything hit me at once.
Mm.
Everything. Like I never dealt with the death of my brother. I never dealt with the being burned at 7. Like never seen a therapist in my life. Never worked on my mental game. So all that stuff just hits me at once. And no, I don't tell this story for people to feel sorry for me. That ain't it. Mm-hmm. My thing is like, get the work where you're going through a situation instead of waiting for the situation to consume you. And then you realize, you know what, I might need some help.
Mm. I mean, but to be 22 or 23,
yeah.
I mean, you probably wouldn't even recognize that you need help.
And I didn't. I'm gonna tell you when I realized that. When I stopped playing, and I came home. But that's jumping the gun.
That's cool. Okay, I got
That's jumping the gun.
So, Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
The fans.
The fans.
How did they treat you?
They were straight. I mean, the fans was good. Like the fans were straight. Like I can deal with the fans because most of them, they've been with a team for a long time, so they expect certain things. I can deal with that.
So moving around town,
it was straight. Like everything was cool.
Did Minnesota ever become a second home for you?
It did. So and during the season was a home. Like Minnesota's nice. Like
okay.
Don't get me wrong. Around this time, it's real nice, but it gets cold.
Okay, but the people and the environment while you were there was good.
And for a certain time, yeah.
So okay, but the only issue at this time was the game, the job, and
mm-hmm.
the expectations.
Right.
And who do you think placed those expectations on you? Because it wasn't the fans. I'm sure it was the media.
No doubt. Because it goes back, bro. Like, and I was always the type I could take what's dealt, but a lot of that stuff I couldn't take, and I hit it. I hit it real well, as I do. But the thing for me, man, that thing tore me down. Like it really, the NFL really tore me down. Like no doubt.
And it's based off the things you would see.
Would see or would do. Like for me, my vice back then was to drink and to party and to not focus on football. So in the off season, it wasn't no extra work. Like forget football. Like it wasn't gonna be I'm not going out there to run no routes I've been doing it the way I've been doing it for this long, so why go do something extra? Wrong mindset. Wrong mindset. That's why I said I needed somebody to coach me, like to guide me. Because when somebody that young comes in, you throw them that much money, of course they're gonna make stupid decisions and do stupid stuff and not take a job for a job.
Yeah.
So and let's talk about this, because I know everybody want to hear about where I was at mentally, especially during the game.
That's right.
You know, because like during the game, half the time I wasn't even there.
Meaning that you
Especially later on in my career.
Wasn't even focus on it.
Not at all. Just don't throw me the ball.
Oh, that's how you felt.
Yes.
What about in practice?
Don't throw me the ball.
Really?
Don't throw me the ball.
You don't want to be there.
Don't want to be there. But when people got expectations of you, you'll put yourself through some BS.
Did any vets notice that?
They did. I mean, I talked to a few vets. I mean, I'm going to tell you when it got bad. I mean, I dropped a pass, which we could have won the game, San Francisco game. We in San Fran. And I dropped the pass, and it's a picture that you see that I posted a video last week. Dropped the pass and was like, and you see it all on my face.
Yeah.
I went back to the locker room, but I cried. And it wasn't the fact that I let the team down, because I let myself down, for one. And after that, it just got bad. Like the drinking got bad, the hanging out got bad, the making bad decisions it just got horrible.
Is this during the season?
Just during the season.
Oh, wow.
During the season.
Before that pass,
it was headed that way.
That your mindset in that game during that pass, while that ball was in the air, are you kind of thinking like, man, I'm not going to catch that? Not
even that, because it happens quick, right? For the run a slant, it happens so fast, right? So my thing was, it was off of just my emotions, bruh. And they told me, like, I knew I was getting the ball. I knew I was getting it. But the fact that I knew I was getting it and that pressure is still there, just beating on me, just beating on me, just beating on me.
Man, that's tough.
Bro, and I see it every year. I see it every year now with, different players. I'm like, I know why they got it paying out.
You can identify.
I can identify.
And as soon as that happens, people bash these kids.
Tell me about it.
Oh.
Tell me about it. And so what do you think they had mentally? Like I know it. Like I can read it. Like I see that.
So when you see an NFL player getting verbally bashed on Twitter or something, do you feel like, man, I just feel sorry for him? Or
I do. I mean, because my heart, because he probably don't know what he's going through. And you gotta understand, like a lot of stuff I didn't identify till I got finished playing. Like I didn't realize that I was going through depression at the time, or I had real bad anxiety. Like people don't know. People don't know what you go through or what the NFL did to me. Like people don't know. Because people don't realize, like I take depression medicine every day. Anxiety medicine every day, bruh. Like from playing in the NFL. Every day, every single day.
Would never known that. Never
people won't know. You know why? Because people, they just think I'm just going out there and just BSing. But they don't know, like, this kid really was going through something at the time.
Going through something.
No issues with saying what they want to say, but they don't know. Like I don't tell my story for to be like, oh man, my bad. No, my story is to be told to help the next person. Hopefully, the next athlete that's coming up, they got to deal with mental illness, or depression, anxiety, because that stuff is real, bro.
So how do you feel about media
now?
I
mean, it's a two-edged sword. I think. I mean, you can use it. Like if I'm promoting myself, that's fine.
Well, media who covers sports, like do you think media should critique players?
They should.
Okay.
Within respect, yes.
Do you feel like you were disrespected?
No doubt.
Okay. They crossed the line with you.
No doubt.
And you still see them cross the line to this day?
Every day. You know why? Because people want clicks, people want likes, they want views. That's what they want. So they want the attention.
They're not covering the game to you. They're intentionally being disrespectful to get
the attention they want. No doubt. And there's some guys that critique it. Some guys, well in respect, they got the right to do it. Like I take critique from a former player before I take one from somebody who ain't never stepped on a football field.
Yeah.
I take that.
Yeah. Okay.
Within respect, right?
Within respect. But if that person who never played is breaking it down and giving an opinion that's football related, you're okay with that.
Right. Let's do that.
But just don't disrespect
me. If we're going to disrespect, sit me down in front of you and disrespect me.
Which they probably won't do.
Right. That's what I'm saying about most of the guys, they hide behind these cameras and these keys.
Yeah.
And we call them, what we call them? With Twitter fingers.
Twitter fingers.
I mean, that's what they do.
I think media holds, man, it's so important because these are kids. You know?
Right, and you can hurt somebody's career as well as help them.
Yeah,
that's why I say it's a double-edged sword.
It is, man. So I learned a lot from just hearing that story because I want to be careful in what I say.
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't even post. I don't say anything.
Right.
I'll just post it and let it go.
Let it go for
because
itself,
man, these kids put so much into what they're doing, and hearing you talk about it now, I realize like, man, probably felt like the whole world was on your shoulders.
It's crazy, bro, and like I get overwhelmed now just even thinking about going back to that position because it's crazy, bro. I didn't want to go to practice. I didn't want to go to no games, bro. It was tough because it was that much pressure and that much, and it was just a lot for a kid my age, and I hit it. Like I hit it for my wife. Like my wife ain't no, bruh. And my wife found about this in therapy.
That's when she found out about it?
Majority of it. Like this what I'm about to tell you, she found out about this. I'm in Jacksonville, right? Mm-hmm. Just had a horrible game, right? And my brothers them there. And we had been like bumping, I'm just gonna drink. So I drank, go in the room, pop a bunch of pills.
A bunch of them.
Bunch of them.
Trying to do something.
Trying to take myself from here. Went to sleep, woke back up. And I'm like, damn. I guess I'll go to practice. I'll go to watch film that Monday morning.
Oh, so you got up and went back to it.
Yep.
Had no idea that's what's causing this.
That's what was causing it.
And there was no option of leaving it. Just walking away.
Well,
I mean, in your mind.
In my mind.
In my mind, yeah.
In my mind. Because you feel like you owe them something.
Yeah, I get that.
You feel like you owe them. But I remember when I got on my last game, horrible game, by the way, I called my wife. I was like, I think I'm done. You got to realize how much of a weight lifted on me when I said that to her.
Really? And
she was like, you good? Just come on to the house.
And that was it?
That was it. That was all, bro.
So the NFL was the worst period?
No doubt.
Wow.
Because I still deal with a lot of stuff from that time now, bro. Like the anxiety, like the depression and stuff like that, bro. Like, but it took me a minute. Like I went through a time after I got finished playing, bro, where I was so depressed, bro, I couldn't get out of bed. I lost so much weight. And the good thing about this was that no reason why nobody really seen me because it was during like, I'm trying to think, maybe 4 years ago, maybe.
4 years ago?
Maybe about 4 years ago. So I've been on my depression and anxiety medicine for maybe about 3 years.
Wow.
But at the time it hit me. Like it just hit me out of nowhere. It's just something that, playing if you're not ready mentally for it, and that's what we say, like the NFL is, or be able to play a professional sport is 90% mental, 10% physical. Because your brain really has to be there.
Man, that was deep. Sad too.
Sad, bro.
Yeah.
Because I look at it, bro. I look at it, and it happens every year. These kids be so happy to be drafted, and they be so happy to, finally make it to that point. Then it's not all what you thought about.
Man.
And you can talk to somebody else, and they might have a completely different story than I got.
That's right.
But that was my.
That happened.
That was it.
Man. And I see all the stuff. I see it to this day, the criticism of you, and we don't talk about it, but I read it, and I'm like, man, they just saying whatever. And I know you from the gym, how we talk, and I'm looking at, like, why are they saying this?
Right.
We know what happened.
Right.
You don't have to, even the Wikipedia, to me, is kind of disrespectful.
No, that's just that.
Yeah, and I'm like, and I didn't like that. I felt a certain way about it. Like, man, it's a friend, a good guy.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Yeah. And see, the thing about it, and it's within right to feel how you feel, but just know how to come across, right?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's my main thing. And it's crazy because I just went back to Minnesota for the first time since I left there.
I remember you went back.
And I went to work with my boy Brian McKinney on some foundation. And the welcoming was tough.
Meaning?
Just to come back. It
was tough
just to go back.
Was that a trigger?
It's a trigger, no doubt.
Wow.
No
just
doubt.
to go back to Minnesota is a trigger.
No doubt.
And you went to the stadium?
Nope.
Okay, but that would have been another trigger.
It would have been a trigger all over.
Wow. Is watching the game a trigger?
It's not. I love watching football. Don't get me wrong, but the trigger for me is more on the business side of the game.
Okay. Okay. So, and I'm going to go, I am not back.
That's fine.
Your boys play sports. They play football. How do you feel about that? Oh, you know what? Okay. Well, let's go back.
Okay.
Back. Because this is what I wanted to talk about previously. Mm-hmm. Because I know we talked and you said, this maybe 2 years ago, and you said your son was just playing, but you didn't allow him to play previously.
Right.
And I remember talking to Kenny. Kenny didn't play football till high school.
Yeah.
How do you feel about young kids playing? And maybe you don't have a personal opinion about it, but I just noticed that about what you did for your kids. How do you feel about 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds, 8 playing football?
I don't think they should play. I mean, that's what you got flag football for. I think at that age, you teach the fundamentals of the game and let it go from there, like until they get to a certain age. But I mean, y'all the parents, so y'all. Okay. I just decided to let mine not play until a certain age.
And to be clear, my son played at 5.
Yeah.
You know, but I will say now that he's in high school and I look back at his pictures, I'm like, I don't know if I should have
done that.
I think about it. You know,
I mean, it's something to think about.
Yeah,
though.
I think about that a lot. But I don't really give my opinions on it because I also like to see the kids with their parents and some of them are having fun. Some of them don't want to be out there, but some are having fun. Some want to be out there. You know, you just have different levels. But I just noticed that. But as far as your son's playing football now, and as they get better and better, how will you approach them far as mental health? How do you warn them about the things you dealt with as far as mental health? You know, how do you prepare them for?
So the thing, my thing is, I try to, in this house, like we try to be as open as possible.
That's right.
Like, so I talk about this stuff with my kids. Like, we talk about like, you know, daddy deal with depression, anxiety, blah, blah, blah. So we deal with it. And I know they got to go to school with people that look me up on the Wikipedia and stuff like that. So, you know, kids going to be kids.
True.
But I believe, like, hear me out, right? Like, just hear my story and hear me where I'm coming from. And then we can work